Hello and welcome to All Math Considered. In this video, we want to learn how to solve quadratic equations. Before we start, I assume that there are two things which you know how to do. First, you should be able to solve linear equations, like this one, 6x minus 5 equal to square root of 13. And you should be able to work with square roots. Second, I expect you to know the square of the sum formula, which says that a plus b squared is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. That formula can be easily shown by multiplying two brackets together, as is shown below. So with these assumptions, let us now proceed to a master solution. I will show you how it works on an example of a quadratic equation. I have written it here, 3x squared minus 5x is equal to minus 1. Sometimes this is also written as 3x squared minus 5x plus 1 equal to 0, but for our purposes it is easier to write it this way. The solution proceeds in a few simple steps. The first step is to multiply this equation by 4 times the leading coefficient. In this case this is 3, so we need to multiply it by 12. At this moment it is not quite clear why we want to do it this way, so just follow the solution, and later when you solve equations you will see that it works out exactly the way it should work out. So let us multiply it by 12. Here we will get 36x squared minus 12 times 5, 60x equal to minus 12. As a second step, I want you to add the square of the second coefficient in the equation, in this case 5, or coefficient is actually minus 5, and we want to add the square of that to both sides of the equation, so we add 25 plus 25 to both sides of the equation, so we get 36x squared minus 60x plus 25 equal to minus 12 plus 25. Now we simplify both sides. On the left hand side, we recognize this as a perfect square. In fact, using the square of the sum formula here, with values a equal to 6x and b equal to minus 5, we see that the left hand side is actually 6x minus 5 squared. On the right hand side, we simply obtain 13. Now, if we have a square of some number equal to 13, this means that either this number, 6x minus 5, is equal to square root of 13, or 6x minus 5 is equal to minus square root of 13. We were lucky that in this case we had a positive number 13. If we had a negative number, we would have no solutions at all. And if we had a 0, then we would have a unique solution, where whatever is here in the bracket should be equal to 0. Now here we have a positive number 13, so we have two cases to consider. Now in each of these cases, you just need to solve the linear equation. We then obtain, in the first case, x equal to 5 over 6 plus 1/6 square root of 13. And in the second case, x equal to, so let's say this is x1, x2, equal to 5 over 6 minus 1/6 square root of 13. So let us repeat the steps again. In the first step, you multiply the equation by 4 times the first coefficient, the leading coefficient, in this case 12. In the second step, you add the square of the original second coefficient. In this case, it means that you add 25. At this point, you should be getting a complete square on the left-hand side. If you don't, then you've made some mistake. In this case, we've gotten a complete square of 6x minus 5. On the right-hand side, you simply have some number, and this leads you to this equation, which will be a square of something equal to some number, and then you can extract the root, which will lead you to two cases if this number is positive, which will then give you two solutions, x1 and x2. And this is how you solve the quadratic equation. If at this point you're still interested in checking if your solutions are correct or not, then you should check out my video which describes how to do that.